Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Bachelor Nation has been going through a lot of drama with Lindsay, Chris Harrison, and Rachel Kirkconnell lately. Now, the producers have finally spoken up, defending Lindsay. Bachelor producers speak up. Lindsay has been facing a ton of harassment and bullying issues after her interview with Chris Harrison. Because of what Chris said on that interview, he ended up leaving the show for a while. The bullying has gotten so bad, Rachel has deleted her Instagram account. Now the producers are speaking out on the situation. They say that they do not condone this behavior. As executive producers of the Bachelor franchise, we would like to make it perfectly clear that any harassment directed towards Lindsay in the aftermath of her interview with Chris Harrison is completely inexcusable, they write in a post. They continue to write that they think Rachel is a great advocate as part of Bachelor Nation. They say there is no reason for this behavior. Fans in the comments do not seem happy. There seems to be one common theme, that Bachelor Nation could still be doing more. After all, this is their one statement after weeks of back and forth. This is bare minimum, y'all, one person writes. So what about the bullying they allowed on the show? Let's address that. You need to do more and do better, another adds. Bachelor is really going down the drain. Bullying is not acceptable, but she's not the only one this is happening to, one person notes. Some are wondering what they are going to do to be more inclusive in the future. Instead of just talking, fans are waiting to see action. 2 weeks is a long time to craft this lukewarm statement. I'd love to hear what steps are being taken from the EPs to prevent further harassment and or how you're being more inclusive in all aspects of the show, someone asks. Why didn't they mention anyone else? There's a lot of confusion as to why only the stuff with Lindsay has been mentioned in the statement from The Bachelor. There has been a new host of After the Final Rose, drama with Rachel Kirkconnell, and statements made by Chris Harrison. Why were none of these things addressed in the post? Will you be watching the rest of The Bachelor this season? Or are you over it now that Chris is gone and all of this drama has started? Let us know in the comments below. Come back to TV Shows Ace for more news on all of your favorite Bachelor Nation break stars. Their silence for Lindsay. The explosive truth behind the franchise's most controversial star revealed. A statement that shocked Bachelor Nation. In a move that no one saw coming, the producers of the Bachelor franchise have finally broken their silence about Lindsay. And what they had to say has Bachelor Nation absolutely shaking. After years of swirling controversy, fan backlash, behind-the-scenes tension, and Rachel herself stepping away from the franchise, she once proudly championed, the silence is over. For the first time ever, key producers are going on the record to share exactly what went down during and after Rachel's historic season, how they really feel about her criticisms of the show, and why they believe she deserved better. The narrative we thought we knew is being rewritten, and it's messier, more emotional, and more shocking than anyone expected. This 5,000-word exposé will dive deep into everything. Rachel's journey, her fallout with the franchise, the producer's personal reflections, and what this means for the future of the most-watched dating series on television. Buckle up, because this is the tell-all you didn't know you needed. Chapter 1. Lindsay, a Bachelor first and a franchise turning point. When Lindsay was cast as the first ever Black Bachelorette in 2017, it was hailed as a monumental moment for diversity in the Bachelor franchise. The show had long been criticized for its lack of inclusion, and Rachel's casting felt like a course correction. But what happened behind the scenes wasn't quite the fairy tale that viewers saw on screen. It was historic, but it was also heavy, said one anonymous producer. There was so much pressure on Rachel to represent an entire community. That wasn't fair to her, and we didn't realize how much she was carrying. Sources confirm that Rachel was asked to keep things positive and trust the process, even when she felt something was off. She wanted to be real, a former producer explained, but the show didn't always want that kind of real. Chapter 2: The Brian Abasolo Problem. Were producers hoping for Peter Cross all along? As the season progressed, fans grew obsessed with Peter Cross, the brooding bachelor who famously hesitated to propose. But Rachel ultimately chose Brian Abasolo, a choice she stood by but one that led to massive backlash. Did we want Peter to be the final guy? Honestly, yes, admitted a senior producer speaking under condition of anonymity. He tested off the charts, but Rachel didn't feel safe with him emotionally, and we had to respect that. Behind the scenes, producers allegedly tried to push more romantic storylines with Peter in hopes that he'd come around. It became a tug of war, another insider claimed. Rachel was falling for Brian, and we were trying to frame Peter as the perfect fit. This manipulation reportedly caused tension between Rachel and the production team. She didn't appreciate being told how to feel, said one associate producer. She was always honest, and that didn't always serve the storyline we wanted. Chapter 3: Fallout, Fan Fury, and the Beginning of Rachel's Disillusionment. After her season aired, Rachel Lindsay quickly became a central figure in the franchise, but not without controversy. She hosted Bachelor Happy Hour, appeared at multiple franchise events, and spoke openly about the lack of diversity behind the scenes. But when she began to challenge the franchise more publicly, especially after the 2021 scandal involving contestant Rachel Kirkconnell and host Chris Harrison, things took a sharp turn. She spoke up, and she got dragged for it, said a former executive at ABC. It was brutal, and we didn't defend her the way we should have. Rachel received online hate, death threats, and was labeled angry for calling out racism, a common trope aimed at Black women. Despite this, the franchise largely stayed quiet. She was left out to dry, admitted one longtime producer, and that was our mistake. Chapter 4: The Chris Harrison Scandal, The Breaking Point. In 2021, everything boiled over when Chris Harrison defended Rachel Kirkconnell's past behavior during an interview with Rachel Lindsay herself. The moment went viral. The fallout was immediate. Harrison stepped away. Rachel faced renewed hate. Rachel was caught in the crossfire, a producer now says. She was doing her job as a journalist, but the reaction she got was beyond toxic. According to internal sources, the franchise was scrambling to manage the fallout. We were scared, said an executive. We didn't know how to handle it, so we froze. That silence was deafening, and Rachel felt betrayed. Multiple insiders confirm that Rachel tried to speak with network heads privately, urging them to address systemic issues. But they reportedly responded with vague promises and minimal action. She gave us the chance to do the right thing, said one source, and we didn't take it. Chapter 5: Rachel's Quiet Exit and the Franchise's Loud Guilt. Eventually, Rachel Lindsay stepped away from Bachelor Happy Hour. Her podcast with Van Lathan, Higher Learning, became her primary focus. She stopped attending Bachelor Nation events and appeared increasingly distant from the franchise that once celebrated her. Now, in 2025, producers are finally acknowledging what went wrong. We failed her, said a current executive producer in an exclusive sit-down. We didn't protect her, we didn't support her, and we're still trying to figure out how to make that right. This candid confession came as part of an internal diversity audit conducted earlier this year. The producers say it forced them to reckon with how they handled Rachel's time on and after the show. We used her image, said another producer, but we didn't listen to her voice. That's the truth. Chapter 6: Why They're Speaking Now and What They Want Fans to Know. So why are the Bachelor producers breaking their silence now? We didn't want to make this about saving face, said the executive producer. We wanted to have the hard conversations internally first, but now we owe Rachel and the audience honesty. They also admitted that silence equals complicity. We watched her take hit after hit, and we said nothing. That's on us. According to insiders, Rachel has not been involved in these new statements and hasn't indicated interest in returning to the franchise in any capacity. Still, producers say they would welcome her input at any time and hope she sees this as a start. They also acknowledged that she changed the franchise permanently. Rachel opened our eyes, one showrunner confessed. Without her, we wouldn't be making the changes we're making now. She started the conversation. She forced us to look inward. We are better now because of her. Chapter 7. Bachelor Nation reacts. Too little, too late. After the producer's statement dropped, fan reaction was swift. Some praised the honesty. Others called it a PR stunt. Still others questioned why it took 8 years to say these words. On Reddit and TikTok, debates raged. They're only talking now because the ratings are tanking. Rachel deserves a public apology and way more than this. I'm glad they finally owned up to it, but the damage is done. Several former contestants, including Tayshia Adams and Mike Johnson, have since voiced support for Rachel. She was always ahead of the curve, Tayshia posted on Instagram. She told the truth before it was safe. Chapter 8. What's next for Rachel and for the franchise? Rachel Lindsay has not yet responded to the producer's statements. Sources close to her say she's aware of what's been said and is watching cautiously. Her reps declined to comment, but those who know her best say she's focused on her career, not old wounds. Still, the producers insist that this isn't a one-off gesture. They say a full-scale internal overhaul is happening, more diverse casting, increased representation in the writer's room, and mandatory bias training for producers. We know we have a lot to prove, one insider said, but we're not going back to business as usual. As for whether Rachel will ever return to the franchise, that's up to her, said the executive producer. But the door is always open, and the apology is real. Conclusion: a reckoning long overdue. Rachel Lindsay didn't ask to become a symbol, but she became one anyway, of change, of truth-telling, of what happens when someone refuses to play by the rules of a system that wasn't built for them. Now, with producers finally breaking their silence, it's clear. Rachel's impact is undeniable. Her legacy isn't just in roses and reality TV. It's in the slow, painful evolution of a franchise that had to be dragged into accountability. Bachelor Nation may never be the same, and honestly, that's a good thing. What do you think? Was the producer's statement too little, too late, or an overdue reckoning? Let us know in the comments.